Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the December 21st edition of the Courtside with Coach Crist Show here on the New River Network. Greg Crist, along with my man Dave Gorby, and this is our, I guess, pre-Christmas show. We'll be back with you after Christmas, and we'll have another show next week. So this kind of fell kind of good for us. That way
Okay, so we'll have a pre-New Year's one,
have
too?
a pre-New Year show next week. So it worked out kind of good the way it fell. That way we don't have to skip a week. And got all kinds of stuff going on to talk about, and there's never enough time to talk about all of it, but we'll try to get some of it squeezed in for you tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about some Oak Hill basketball we got coming up on the network. Also, a little WVU. We can talk football, basketball, everything going on there.
Yeah.
And, of course, we had a big announcement this week that the SSAC has developed their new 4-class system in 5 different sports.
Yep.
And I know everybody's thrilled about that. I've been seeing lots of comments on Facebook about it. Everybody's happy with the way it worked out, the way it turned out, and the way they did it.
Oh, boy.
And, I asked, I was talking to Justin Harrison. He does Midland Trail games. Yesterday on the phone, we were talking about it, and I was asking him, because he's close to Curtis, about the criteria. And he didn't know exactly what the criteria was, but I saw it today. And I think 80% of it was school enrollment. 20% or 10% was I thought it said like poverty level or something.
So when they did the basketball trial a couple years ago, there were 4 categories. There was the enrollment, which was 70%. The location to a 10K population was 10. They had the county seat. Right. That was the one Curtis was voiced about. Yep. But I mean, I get that. I definitely get that. Yep. And then the economic score, and like I said, that's a. I looked at the equation on that. They take like the median household income for the county, the average. Of course, I just said median, but the poverty rate of the county, and then it's like a percentage into the school of like what's in the school of that. It's a big equation. I don't know it right off the top of my head, but I've seen it online. It's gives you a headache just looking at it on that. But that was only 10%. My understanding when it came out that they were taking that county seat out, I thought they were going to do 20% was going to be the location to the 10K and 10% economic and 70%, but they didn't do that. They did 80, 10, 10.
And the other 10 was location, right?
Yeah, location to 10K population.
Okay. Well, what difference? Maybe you understand it, but what difference does that make? I mean, what's the thinking there? Is it because they can pull kids from those areas?
I really don't understand it.
I don't either.
To put it into the equation,
right? Yeah, I don't know unless it's drawing kids from those areas, but you're obviously going to have more schools in those areas, I would think,
right?
If you have that population, but I don't know. Well, I know. Excuse me. Some of the schools, I looked. I mean, those 2 equations, I'm sure, factored in. You look at some of these schools, and you're like, how in the world are they still there, or how are they here?
Well, the one I think the people obviously, there's one I like to talk about, but the one a lot of people were talking about was Bluefield.
Bluefield, yeah.
And they're the top school in Double, and they're like, Bluefield is over 10, like their town's over 10K. Well, right. Their town is a separate town, 2 separate towns down there.
Right. One
town's 9K, and that's on our side of the state, and the other side's like 5K.
Right.
And but they got separate governments and all that, or I guess, and so they count. But I don't even think. But maybe they did, because I saw a thing about Frankfort, and that had to be towards Cumberland.
Right.
How close they are, because I think they had to stay in AAA. Yeah. A team like Frankfort.
Yeah, a lot of people always wondered about Bluefield. Where all they stay double A, Even when there were 3 classes, everybody thought they should have been up 1. And so it makes you wonder. And then you look at like Greenbrier West, for example, staying down. And I mean,
just like you saying Greenbrier West and Midland Trail are identical.
Exactly.
I mean, identical.
That's what I said. Yeah.
And Trail's distance to Beckley, which really ain't close.
No.
But I guess it's closer than Greenbrier West is to Beckley.
Yeah. I mean, it couldn't be much more.
And that much got Trail pushed in, and it wasn't even like Trail's just one school into Double A.
Right.
Trail's like about 5-6 schools into Double A.
Right. Yeah, they were 5 or 6 from the bottom. Yeah. Yeah. I looked at it and I was just like, how in the world? And the thing that gets me is what I think the biggest problem with it that they have is they try to get equal number of teams in each class.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, when you do that, that means you're going to have a huge number at the top, a low number at the bottom, and it's going to be totally skewed. And I've said all along, why not take, in this state, we have 10 or 11 what you would call really big schools,
Right.
Morgantown, University, Woodrow, Parkersburg, take those schools and put them in the upper class. So what if you only got 10 or 11?
Yep.
Put everybody in the playoffs, give the top 3 a bye, play it off that way. How hard would that be? And then it makes it better for your other classes because you don't have to have those big ones in there with the smaller ones.
Probably the middle class would probably be the most competitive class.
Right. If they do it that way. So I don't understand why they don't consider that. I never understood that. I mean, because I've always thought we should have another class, but that other class should be specifically for the big guys. You know? And then you could even flip that down to the bottom and take your top 15, 16 smallest schools, because they can't compete either. Take your Meta Bridges.
Well, you take instance Montcalm. Didn't they finish like 8-2 and they didn't even make the playoffs?
Right.
But I mean, me and you know what Montcalm is. Hey, I'm not knocking Montcalm.
Right.
They got to do what they got to do.
Right.
And they're going to play Paden City. They're going to play Van. They're not going to play Greenbrier West.
Right. Princeton, right there beside them.
Let
them play. And if you did that, if you took the very top, very bottom enrollment size, put them all together, then that would open up the middle, and you could split that up into 2 really equal, pretty good groups. I think. I don't know why that's such a hard concept. I don't know if it's because they don't want to. I think they don't want to lose some regionals, because it's money. I think it boils down to money, a lot of it, and it shouldn't.
Well, that's why I was trying to figure out what the regions would, and that comes out at a later date. People, what the regions are going to look like in basketball. Of course, that's going to be the same for the other sports. That's not football. That's doing 4 classes,
right?
And ours I think ours is going to be pretty easy to do, but man, there's one. Most of them are got to be 5. It's going to be 5-6 teams in a region, and one region I think is going to have 8 teams in it in Quad A, just because they have to. Because if you bump one to our region, man, they got to come over 2 hours to get to the ball game.
Yep. And then I saw some other ones I was looking at, and there's possibility that they may not even have to play maybe a sectional game or something. We're looking at that and thought, well, that can't be right. So I don't know what they're going to do. I think they're creating more of a mess than they're helping. But we can talk about that a little bit more.
We'll get
and get into it a little deeper because I know people want to talk about that. And we're going to talk a little bit about WVU too, the transfer portal, the signing day, and the basketball team. Since we have to,
we can find
they are what they are, and they're going to get better. I got faith that they're going to get better.
I mean, I think Battle can score. It looks like,
yeah. He definitely can shoot. He just got to start making. I mean, he scored 29 last night, but he shot about 120 times. But hey, you know what? If he can shoot, he can shoot. Shoot it. But they got some stuff to work on. That's for daggone sure. And so we'll see. And I'm gonna go ahead and make my call now. We always like to go out right off the bat to our one eye in the sky, our Chopper One weather and traffic update. And I believe we have Muggy McLeod on the air. Muggy, is that you?
Good evening, Coach. It certainly is me. How are you?
I'm doing great, Muggy. Good to talk to you.
Good to be talked to. All right. Well, good evening, Coach. As you said, this is Muggy McLeod. You kind of steal my thunder. And this is the lovely Misty Rains, my sidekick, with your one eye in the sky, NRN, Chopper One traffic and weather team report.
Tell Misty we love her and we miss her.
Certainly tell her.
And the fans out there who never got to see her before have been chanting her name. We want Misty. We want Misty.
And so did her high school football team.
Your helicopter didn't go down, did it? Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh, back up.
We thought it went down there. That's back now, though. Of course, you can't.
Well, I'm glad all that happened because I made a comment about the high school football team where she went to school. So hopefully she didn't hear that.
Might have been a good thing we've dropped that. Yeah.
Yes, drop the ball, so to speak. Okay, Coach. So speaking of Misty, my bio-directionally challenged co-pilot has us flying to the North Pole.
Ooh. Exciting.
Well, no, not the actual North Pole. North Pole, Alaska, where the men are men and so are the women.
Oh, man. North Pole, Alaska. Yeah, because it's cold up there.
Yes.
Hair on her legs.
And our fuel budget at NRN is too prohibitive for us to fly completely to the actual North Pole.
I got you.
So this is the best we could do in a pinch. Alrighty then, Coach. Just like most commercialized places in Alaska, we are moving on over the Taco Bell, where the beef in your taco. Something about the beef in your taco.
Some beef in your taco.
That's where they put the beef in your taco.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes Coach ADD has a way of, okay, let me move on. Anyway.
Squirrel.
Moose. As we move on down Badger Road, we pass the Santa Claus house. You see, they commercialized everything here. And, but as you can see, folks, he is real. I told you, Misty, he was real. I told you. Anyway, there are some beautiful yellow decorations in the snow. Oh, wait a minute. It says Coach Crist. Oh, yes, but it's nicely written in what looks to be Mr. Gorby's handwriting.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. Heading on up the Husky Road, we see a line forming at the Mocha Moose, where the drinks are topped off with what appears to be chocolate drops.
Wow. Sounds good.
But from the looks of the size of the mooses parked out back, I'd say that's not chocolate you're tasting. Yes.
And wouldn't that be Mises?
Or Mises.
Oh, okay. And if Misty, we picked up on the fact that Misty may not believe in old Santa Claus. Well, I got news for her. We're going to be talking to him later on the night, and she'll be sorry.
Sounds interesting.
Yep. She'll be sorry that.
Right. Okay, Coach. So, glad to hear. Anyway, last place traffic is stopped is the Elsh Den Bar and Grill, where the booze on the top of the shelf. Oh, boy, I'm having a hard time tonight, Coach. This winter weather is always getting me.
It'll discombobulate. It'll mess you up.
What I meant to say was where the booze at the Elf is always top shelf.
There you go.
Get it? Elf on the shelf?
Got it. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Well, I digest. Okay. And at the den, you'll see small litters of muskrats gathering, looking to nestle in Mr. Gorby's neckbeard to keep warm.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, you can always look for a nice muskrat. Yeah. Anyway, okay, Coach, on to the weather, brought to you by Arctic Wings Bar, Food, and Beer.
Oh.
Yes, where if you mention this spot on your first visit, they will serve you ice cold chicken wings with warm beer and then throw you out the back door and kick the crap out of you.
Oh, man, can't beat that.
And that's just the women.
Yeah.
So,
good deal. That's a good deal.
Right. That's right. So the forecast then is kind of crappy with a warm, hard candy Christmas ahead of us. And so anyway, enough said about all that. I'm going home. I got to go do some shopping.
All right. Well, we appreciate you.
I guess I'll tune in to listen to the real Santa Claus.
There you go. You have to talk to him here in a little bit. You can send in questions if you want to, so be sure to do that. And be careful on your flight back because the weather's not good out there.
Yes, sir, Coach. It's kind of crappy. So that does it for me, Muggy McCloud, and my little helper, Misty Rains, and your one eye in the sky, NRN Traffic One Weather Report.
All right, Muggy. Thank you for calling, buddy. We'll catch up with you next week.
Yes, sir. Over now.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Perfect timing there. The helicopter quit right on time. Running out of gas, I guess. Muggy up over the North Pole in North Pole, Alaska.
Yeah.
Like he said, the NRN budget won't quite let him get to the real North Pole, so they made it close as they could.
Yeah.
Better be careful up there flying around, though, because you know what's coming up. And, You don't want to be crashing in no sleigh or anything up there.
Nope.
So, all right, let's get us a quick break in here. We come back. We're going to talk a little bit about the game tomorrow. We'll mention that, and then some other stuff we've been talking about here between us, and then we'll move on to our special guest tonight. A really, really special guest. So we'll get him on here in just a minute. So let's get us a quick break in. When we come back, we're going to talk some Oak Hill and WVU sports, and we'll talk about some other things if you'd like. And like I told Muggy there, if you want to text in or you can't call. Well, you can call in, but I can't answer because we're on the air. But if you will text in your question, we'll be happy to answer it. I know, Gorb, that's one good thing about the StreamYard thing we do. There's, whenever you send in a question or something, or a comment like last night, you fill us in on the attendance thing at the Meineke the Mayo Bowl.
Well, it was the Continental Tire Bowl, then it was Meineke Car Carrier,
Right.
and then it was, what was it? Right before Duke's Mayo. Here we go. I'm going to look it up.
It was a Belk Bowl, wasn't it?
Belk Bowl.
Yeah,
That's what
Belk
it was.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belk Bowl.
So when you send in that information, it pops up on the screen to us, so we can see it immediately. So I commented on it there last night. So we don't have the capability here, but if anybody wants to text in a question, you got my phone number. You can text it in and ask away.
So we're not flashing your number on the
We're
screen?
not going to flash it up there. So if anybody, so it has to be somebody that knows me. So, and also I was talking to Frank about this last night. I said I kind of hesitate to take phone calls here because I know my friends, and if we're taking phone calls, I know what could happen. So I don't dare do that. So we kind of stay away from that. But anyway, let's get a quick break in. When we come back, we'll talk some of those other things that I mentioned, and then we'll have our special guest on shortly after that. So stay with us. You're watching the Courtside with Coach Chris show here on the New River Network. We appreciate you tuning in. Again, we're coming to you from the McGuffin's Mystery Hole.
I cannot remember the last time I've been here.
Been a while, hasn't it? McGuffin's Mystery Hole out here on Gatewood Road. So we're happy to be here. All right, so we'll take a quick break. We shall return after these messages. Stay with us.
Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network.
Welcome back to the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm Greg Crist. That is Dave Gorby. Come to you tonight from McGuffin's Mystery Hole out here on Gatewood Road. Appreciate everybody tuning in and spread the word. We are back. And we just talked about it during the break, how consistency is the key, and we will be here every Thursday.
I mean, this is my third show back.
Yeah, that's right. It's been falling good. You hadn't had games, so everything's been working out good. So hopefully we can continue on a consistent basis here on Thursday night. That's our plan. Tomorrow night, the plan is to broadcast the Oak Hill Princeton game. And
I was going to say, I just got a text.
Okay.
It's not a question.
Uh-oh.
It's from our in-house referee, Mitchell Barker, here at the NRN.
Mitchell, yeah.
He says we need matching hats. Do you like flat bills?
I think he probably means like Paul's hat.
Man.
Mitchell, good friend of ours who officiates, still officiates.
Yeah.
Been doing it a long time.
I know.
Those guys, I see them and I think, I still, think about it's like I'm still coaching, they're still officiating my games.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's been 15 years, 20 years,
I've been trying to get him to come to an Oak Hill football game, and he just won't do it. He won't pull the trigger. I'm
going to tell you what else he needs to do. He needs to sit down here with us on the show.
Well,
talk a little officiating.
I mean, if he's the in-house referee for NRN, he
needs to be appearing.
He needs to be appearing, yeah.
Back several years ago when I did a show for Rick Lewis over there on the 106.9, the radio station, I had a segment every week, and I had an official, and I can't remember. I think it was John Mills. Mm-hmm. He would call in, and he would discuss a certain rule. Yeah. And back in is when they first put the horse collar in, and that, and he described that, and explained it. He explained onside kicks and did all those things, and it was really cool because, what got us on that was we were talking about fans and how everybody sits up in the crowd yelling this and yelling that, and they don't even know the rules, you know. Mm-hmm. And I was at a game. I was one of Sammy's games a couple weeks ago up at Wheeling, and I'm sitting right behind the scorer's table, and that there was a timeout. They were playing Charleston. Mm-hmm. They took a timeout, so Osborne's over in his huddle. Yeah, we know they have a first horn, right? And the officials go over first horn.
Yeah, right.
Okay? They hadn't even rang the first horn yet. Well, Wheeling's back out on the floor, so the Wheeling fans behind me are over there yelling at the ref, "Get him back on the court! He's drawing up a whole new offense. Giving him all day." Blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there thinking, they ain't even rang the first horn yet, people. He still has plenty of time in that
because one
timeout.
team was out there.
Yeah, and the official finally looked up and he's like, "First horn hasn't blown," which I admired him for doing that. You know? So it shut everybody up. But it just went to show that people up there yelling, carrying on, they don't even know the rules. Yep. Hush up. If you don't know the rules, hush up. Don't be complaining. You should be up there yelling anyway, officials. But especially if you don't know the rules, you really shouldn't be up there.
Yep.
Of course, I say that, and I did that a couple times when I first started coaching. I remember arguing with an official in a JV football game one night about a something on a punt. I believe it was a blocked punt or a running into the kicker or something. I don't remember what it was, but I was fussing, arguing about automatic first down, blah, blah, blah. And he said, "I'll tell you what, Coach." He said, "I'll bet you my car on it." I was like, "All right, you're on." Of course, he was right. I went and looked it up. He was right, so I apologize to him. But, people yell about it, and they don't even know what the rules are. So it would be nice, back to my point, to have Mitchell come on the show every now and then. Maybe once a month he could come on and discuss a call. Right. It'd be great to talk to him about the offsides penalty, what his take is on the NFL's offsides call in the Kansas City game. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun right there.
Of course, the only problem with officials is they always defend officials. They're kind of like police officers. They always defend each other. Better watch what I'm saying. I'll get pulled over on the way home. Robert probably said too early for the eggnog. I'll get pulled over on the way home, be in trouble. But he could give us what the official's perspective is on that. I mean, we all have our opinions. I mean, I thought it was a penalty. Should have flagged him. He was offsides, plain and simple. But also should have flagged him like they should have flagged him like 10 other times too. But they didn't. I think that's what the problem people have with it is. Anyway, we'll get off that subject now. But Mitchell, you have an open invitation, and we need to get together, and we'll call it. Maybe you make the call or something like that, and Mitchell can come on, and we can have a question each week for him, or once a month, whatever. He can explain the rule to us and tell us the official's perspective. If we have a controversy in a big game.
Hopefully he's still – I don't know if he's still watching or not.
Well, I don't know either, but we can reach out to him. And it's just like last night in the WVU game. A lot of people yelling for that last play to be called a walk. Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure. I think, he has to have full possession. You know what I mean? I don't know that – I think it was just a loose ball.
Here's the thing. It just seems like – every time we take a step forward, right, we're taking 5 steps back, and how he made that, he shot the ball, but he came from the ground and shot it and just went in.
And I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure it was a walk. I get what
you're saying.
I think they made the right no call. I don't think it was
because he bobbled the ball on the ground and kind of rolled on
possession, and it took off rolling. You obviously can't roll it across the floor and run over and get it. But.
He was trying to get around the defender there, and
So I don't think it was a walk personally, but people obviously differ with my opinion because people were complaining like crazy about it. But I don't know. And our basketball team, I think they're going to get better. I think they've got some pieces.
Well, you're finally getting the full team,
Right.
and they haven't played. I mean, and technically, even yesterday, it's not the full team. Jesse Edwards is going to be out for a month.
Right.
So,
and from coaching, when you just throw people in there, it don't automatically mean they're going to be good just because they might be a superstar.
Yeah.
There's chemistry. There's understanding how things are. There's conditioning. All that stuff plays into it, and I don't think it's going to be an immediate turnaround for West Virginia. I think Raekwon Battle last night, like I said, scored 29. Now he took a lot of shots, but his shooting percentage was still pretty good. I mean, his shooting percentage wasn't bad. It was in the 40s, so it wasn't bad. It just seemed like he shot every time he got it. But I think as they play more together, I think they're going to get better. And I think not having Jesse Edwards last night was a big factor in the game because they got out rebounded so bad.
Yeah, they did against UMass as well, but obviously I think.
Yeah, and he didn't play.
I think Frank Martin came out and just told him, "Hey, bang him." I'm not saying that's why he got hurt, but he was obviously frustrated before he got hurt in that game.
Yeah,
he wasn't what he has been for us at all.
And teams know that we don't have a ton of depth, so they're running us up and down the floor. Which, that's good coaching. And but I think that's all going to get better. The more they play, better shape they get in, the better they're going to be. So I got faith we're going to be okay. I mean, I don't think we're going to be world beaters, but we're going to be all right. We're going to be competitive, I think. And that's all you can ask for is be competitive. The football team just wrapped up signing day yesterday. I think they ranked us about 50th. As far as recruiting was concerned in our signing day.
Yeah, well, two of them are 2 stars, and then Dom Collins is not even ranked.
Right.
And a lot, I think the Dom Collins one came out, we had a spot, and, Neil Brown sees, hey, you can't teach 4.2 speed.
That's right. Yep.
If we clean him up a little bit and he puts some weight on, see what he can be here in the next couple of years, So
first thing Neil Brown said was got to get in the weight room. So got to get better.
The good thing right now is we signed 22 yesterday. 6 transfers are coming on the spring semester. There's going to be a few more guys that's going to leave probably after the bowl game.
Yeah.
Just because 85 is the limit, and right now we're probably sitting with these new guys. We're sitting at 91.
Right.
So you're going to have to, but that's probably a good problem to have.
Oh yeah.
And we haven't really had that problem. Retention and development's been kind of the problem the past few years, and it seems like right now they've even though a few of them's left already, it hasn't been a lot of main ones.
Yeah, and I think too what Neil Brown has done, and we talked about this some last night. I think he has, he's focused this time, which he hadn't done in the past. He's focused on areas of need, in that portal, and we've gotten, the people that we've gotten out of the portal so far are people that are positions. I don't know if they're people we need, but they're positions that we need: defensive back, wide receiver, linebacker. He's signing those people,
and that's what that was one thing saying some people might leave after the bowl game. You think of the receiver core right now that really came along during the season: Clement, Traylon Ray, Rodney Gallagher.
Yep.
Who else am I forgetting right now? Oh, Devin Carter. Which Devin Carter is a senior. He's and that's not counting on that 91 because he was already going to be gone anyways. And then you bring in how many receivers now, and you brought in a receiver on the transfer portal. There might be one that's kind of in the middle. That I'm not saying any of the ones that's doing their thing right now, but kind of the one that may be a little young, already probably
right.
Because they brought in 4 receivers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I discussed this on the show last night, or I didn't discuss it, but I talked about it. I said, number one, I think the relevance of the signing day is dwindling because of the portal. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think if you have the number 5 portal class and the number 25 signing class, you should be tickled to death. Or the number 50 signing class and the number 5 portal class. But it's still important to get those players, and I think it's more important. And I had thought this all along. I heard a guy talking about it today, and I thought, I'm glad somebody else thinks the same way I do. I always felt that, your portal and your signings are a different animal. And in those signings, you need to sign linemen. You need to get defensive, offensive linemen, that kind of stuff, because those are going to be the kids that you're going to be able to build up and coach up and make an impact.
Well,
that guys we got now.
That was one of the 2-star kids we got is an O lineman. Now he's 6'7".
Right.
He's only about 270. Obviously, they're going to put weight on him.
Right.
But I think I read he was like already 1,000-point scorer in basketball. So for being a big guy,
he can move.
He can move.
Yep.
So,
and I remember now where I heard that. I was listening to the radio today on the way home. A guy was talking about Kirby Smart in Georgia.
Yeah.
And he said that's what he said he does. He goes strong, and he got the #1 recruiting class, but he goes strongly after linemen.
Well, you look at the two strengths of the team this year. Yeah, everybody's talking about Garrett Green and Jaheim White, but
it's our line,
our offensive line, and we had depth because we had guys banged up.
Right. And
Nick Malone and Jaquil Hubbard stepped right in.
Yep.
And on the defensive line, you've talked about this. It's not like they got like a round 1 guy on there, round 2 guy, but they got 8-9 guys, and they were all just solid,
all decent.
So
I think Neil Brown's doing it right now. I really do. I got faith in this. I really think we just need to leave him alone, let him do his job. I think he's going to be just fine. And one more question I want to ask you, Gorb, and I brought this up last night. I don't know if you were watching or not, but brought this up on our new show that we're doing called Mountaineer Locker Room Then and Now. Hope Darren don't mind me plugging. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock.
When you say we, it's not me.
Gorby's not on there yet. I'll say yet. It's in the works. Trying to get his contract details worked out. But we talked last night. I forgot where I was going now. We were talking about the portal and
it wasn't D lineman, was it?
D lineman. That's what I was going to ask.
Did you see the comment I put?
Yes. And I don't know if you heard my comment about where they were going. Lockhart, who I felt like probably was our best defensive lineman, he signed with SMU.
Okay, yeah.
I was watching the Marshall University of Texas San Antonio, I think it was. I don't even know what their names are.
The San
Troy Fortune.
University of Texas San Antonio versus Marshall.
Yeah. So I'm watching UTSA, and they intercept the pass. It was, I think his name's Cantroy Fortune.
Nick Troy Fortune.
Nick Troy.
Fortune. He was at WVU.
Yeah. I'm thinking, why do these guys? I mean, is it all money that this guy's going to SMU? And he's good. I mean, is it money or what is it?
Well, I don't know if you did you see the message I put SMU alumni on there last night?
I did. Yep.
I mean, I don't know if we have any. I'm not knocking. We got some pretty good alumni donors, but I don't know if we got
that.
Yeah. That's like a top 10 list of having that.
So it's alumni. So it's money basically for him. You got to guess. I mean, because I felt like he was our best. So it's not playing time. It's not comfort in the system because he had a great year. It's not access to the pros because lots of WU players get drafted.
I mean, think about this. SMU. I mean, when was that? 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they were doing NIL deals before they even thought it was illegal.
Yeah, right.
And it was illegal.
Yeah, and they got busted. Yeah, they got canned. Yeah, that's what happened to them.
Yeah,
because they were good.
And that's because they had.
Yeah, they were good back then. Well, on that show too, one night I mentioned the fact that Texas A&M got rid of Jimbo Fisher, but on the same day that they announced his firing, some alumni group, the Alumni Association, presented the football program with a $168 million check.
So going back to SMU, I think they had to pay a pretty good fee. And I think it's all this stuff with Florida State. What's the lettering? GOR? SMU, the boosters, picked up the check to get them in the ACC, and it was a pretty
hefty sum.
A hefty check from what, like 9 figures.
Wow. And, I mean, as bad as we hate to admit it, we can't compete. We can't, I mean, not over time. I mean, there's going to come a point in time when, our people will be tapped out, or they're going to be like, hey, you know what? We can't give no more, know. So I don't know what you do.
Well, that's why we got to get your brother in CRT.
I guess, yeah. I guess, yeah.
He takes vacations for 2 months.
Spain, Hawaii, yeah. He does need to be in there. That's
I know.
He wants to know why he's not on the show anymore.
I know. Well,
why.
he's on a cruise to the North Pole right now.
He hasn't asked me about the show, but maybe he knows. You're always on vacation, so I can't never get you on. So, yeah, we got to start getting him back on. That was our house call with Dr. Chris. We need to start getting him back on so we can razz him a little bit more. All right, let's get a quick break in. After the break, we're going to have our special guest on. I think you'll really be interested in hearing this guy. It's been a long time in the making. And he's a special person, special guest, and we can't wait to talk to him. We hope we are on the right side of the list. We'll probably find that out tonight as well. But I hope you'll stay with us for that special guest, and we'll come back and have him after these breaks. So stay with us. You're watching the Courtside with Coach Chris show on the New River Network. We appreciate you tuning in, and we shall return.
Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. Is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the New River Network. See hard-hitting wrestling action from today's rising stars in independent wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan of any generation, let us introduce you to the hottest wrestling promotion in West Virginia. You can also join a live show at the Crossroads Mall. Retro Reset Wrestling is coming to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the
Welcome back to the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I am Greg Crist. That's Dave Gorby. We're coming to you tonight from McGuffin's Mystery Hole out on Gatewood Road. It's our pre-Christmas edition. We promised you a very special guest tonight, and we have that special guest. We've been able to track him down, get him on the phone, and we're getting ready to introduce him and let him take it away. But I want to read his bio first here, which is what I do for our special guests. I always try to give a little background on the folks, and so people will know who they are. This guy is a legendary figure. He originated from Western folklore. Supposedly, he brings gifts to children on Christmas Eve, Gorby. He was a monk. He's a history teacher, and history teaches us that he was born around 280 A.D. in a place called Patara, which was it's an ancient town in modern-day Turkey. Many beliefs surrounding this guy. He's known as St. Nicholas as well as Crist Kringle, and there are two major stories. One, their legend teaches that St. Nick had a great wealth, gave it away to the poor, dedicated his life to serving the poor, most notably children. The other story is that St. Nick taught us that he saved sisters from a life of prostitution by paying for their dowry. And if you didn't pay attention in history class, you know that a dowry is what they paid the father of the bride.
We did Channel 1 notes in history
That's
class.
right. But we also talked about dowries as well. So I hope you go back and look at your notes and figure that out.
I got 8 in the class anyway.
Anyway, this guy is better known, Crist Kringle is better known as Santa Claus. He's said to live at the North Pole with his wife, Mrs. Claus, of course, and a team of magical elves that help him make toys for all the good boys and girls around the world, and also a team of very special reindeer that drive his sleigh around all over the place. So we'd like to welcome to the show. We appreciate you joining us tonight, Mr. Crist Kringle. Thank you, Mr. Kringle.
Ho, 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 to my favorite ho-ho-hos.
Well, we appreciate that, and you must be gearing up and getting ready for the big season.
Yes, sir, Coach. Chris, how are you and Mr. Gorby this fine Christmas Eve?
Oh, we're doing great. We couldn't be better, I don't think. Well, they say finer than a frog hair split 4 ways and sanded.
Okay. Well, me and the missus, or should I say Gertrude, Jessica, or Carol Claus, whichever book you read, happy to be here, Coach. And, it's time of the year, this time of the year for me to make my list and check it twice. But before I do you have any real pressing, that's a sports joke for you, mind-blowing questions that you can ask?
Absolutely got some questions, and I'm just curious. Now, this is like your Super Bowl coming up, but I'm just curious, looking back throughout history, whenever this first started, and you started flying around dropping these toys to the boys and girls, it's got to have changed quite a bit from back in the day in 280 AD or whenever it was up to modern day, as far as the type of gifts are concerned, the population is concerned, where you fly, where you go, all that stuff has to have changed over the years. Talk about the changes in the way it was when you first started up until tonight.
Well, Coach, I can tell you the sled was a little less aerodynamic. The reindeer, a little thinner. Today's fast food and such that we have to take over our journey puts a little weight on them. But technology, just kind of makes me obsolete, to be honest with you. So, I kind of just sat at home with the missus, and we put the elves on, the computer and the iPads, and we get emails and texts and TikToks and snaps and X's and all this about what kids want for Christmas. And, occasionally we get that unsightly video of one of them's mother in the shower or something to that effect. And, all in all, the season is still the same, and we try to make it as wonderful as it can be, although, about half of the country is just always mad about something. So,
yes.
But we try to bring cheer and good joy and goodwill to all men, regardless of their beliefs. And, so it's changed quite a bit, Coach. I'm not as young and spry as I was 200, 300, 500, 800 years ago, but, chimneys don't really exist anymore. You have all these electronic devices, these electric heaters and electric fireplaces. So kind of hard to get my face down one of those electrical outlets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah, and that was one of the questions I was going to ask about the chimneys, but you stole my thunder on that one. Speaking of those videos, if you have any of those videos left over of the shower scenes, me and Gorby we gladly take those for Christmas when we go over. I mean, yeah, anyway,
well,
so then I understand.
I think you just made the naughty list, Coach.
Well, somebody's got to be on it. you talked about the gifts that you give to these kids as you fly around. I'm sure you develop a naughty and nice list. I think you talked about that, and you're going to talk about it a little bit more here in a few minutes. But as you go around, how do you determine who makes which list? I mean, what goes into that? Is there some sort of mathematical computation, scientific computation? Is it hearsay? Do you have a special program that alerts you to naughty kids, nice kids? How's that all work?
Yes, well, it used to be a dash of magic and some elf dust and so forth. But today, Coach, really all I do is pretty much all I have to do is just Google. Because I Google and I see all the naughty going on. I see some of the nice. There's certain news stations I don't watch because everybody on there is naughty and.
Right.
But occasionally, if you just tune into Facebook, you can pretty much get any information from any mom in the country. So pretty much makes it it's kind of simplified, life in general. Technology has, but it's really simplified mine because it's pretty easy to tell who's naughty.
Do you take in a lot of sports during the year? Do you watch basketball, football, baseball?
Well, yeah, Coach. You see, one of my reindeer, if you recall, is a pretty good coach, Comet.
Coach Comet, yeah.
I tend to watch them, practice and play. It's pretty entertaining. And
but I don't mean to interrupt. But before we go tonight, or after we get off the air tonight, we kind of like for you to talk to Coach Comet. We've had him on a couple of times over the last couple of years, and we're really disappointed we couldn't get Coach Comet this year because of the way everything fell. But I know he's really busy right now, and if he could come on and join us maybe next week, that would be awesome. Just get him after the season's ended and see what he does in the off season. So if you could mention that to him, we'd appreciate it.
Well, sure. Hold on 1 second, Coach. I see him across the iceberg over there. Hey, Comet! Hey, shut up, Dancer! Let's shut up! Hey, Comet! You want to be on Coach Chris' show next week? Hey!
Get out of control.
Yeah, no problem, Santa. I'll call in. Ain't no big deal. I'll give him an update on the team this year. Okay, Coach, there's your answer.
All right. Yeah.
He's a little spunky, He is in rut. It is that time of season.
Oh, they're riled up right now. I guarantee you. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I will say, though, Coach, you asked about sports, and I got to tell you that, the Milwaukee Bucks are my favorite basketball team.
Nice. Good. That's good. That's perfect. The Milwaukee Bucks. What about football?
Oh, my God, that was funny.
That was hilarious. What about football?
Football teams. Oh, let me think. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, we'll give you that one. Gorby's favorite team's the Bears. I didn't realize it. I threw the Browns up in his face tonight and didn't even realize that Gorby's a Bears fan. I'm a Browns fan, and the Browns beat him last week, so he was fussing at me for wearing my Browns shirt tonight. But they're the team of destiny this year, I believe. How about baseball?
You're welcome, Coach. That's one of those magical wishes that come.
That's Joe Flacco 10 years ago.
Yeah, you think you could sprinkle some dust down there on the Browns?
Yeah, maybe. It would take quite a bit. I don't know if my bag's big enough.
I think Joe Flacco, he sprinkles some dust, but I think it's like talcum powder or something. What about baseball? A tough one there.
Yes, let me think. The Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pirates?
Which are what?
Why the Pirates?
They're called the Bucks.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
do you feel a theme coming along?
I do. I was thinking you might go with somebody like, the Angels or maybe the Dodgers.
So who's his hockey team?
How about your favorite hockey team?
Let me think.
Flyers?
Oh, that's pretty good, Coach.
Yep, Philadelphia Flyers, yeah.
That would be good.
All right, enough of this. All right, so you get all perked up here. Now, Christmas Eve is Sunday. You got a couple more days. So tell me about, before we get to your naughty and nice list, tell me about your prep time, your days that you get ready and what goes on, you and Mrs. Claus, what all takes place with the reindeer, the elves, and all that here in the last couple of days for the Super Bowl.
Well, Coach, it's a pretty trying time this weekend, and I got to be in tip-top condition. And so Mrs. Claus, old Gertrude there, she tends to wake me up bright and early by throwing things on the bed, robes and deer, there's bell things that go around the deer's neck, whatever you want to call it, and wakes me up, and we do a little morning
Jingle
yoga.
bells.
The jingle bells.
Yeah, that's what they're called. Yeah.
I would have to check. I would check Webster's. Anyway, or Wilkie. And do a little yoga, do a little stretching, get my back ready, and I do calisthenics and run with Comet's team a little bit, to get the gear ready. And the elves, we beat them pretty hard with the whip a couple 2 or 3 days. We smack them around pretty good. Don't feed them. Just give them a little bit of fluid every once in a while to keep them going. And, we work them 24 and a half hours a day, and we get it done. We get ready. We know we're pumped this time of year, baby. We're pumped.
Oh, we're pumped. We're pumped for you.
A lot of white powder up here, so it keeps us going.
All right, Santa. All right. Before we let you go, won't you go ahead? I know you said something about you had a naughty and nice list. You got a few of those you'd like to throw out there at us tonight before you sign off. So go ahead and whip those out on us.
Okay, excuse me while I whip these out. Okay, on the naughty list, Coach Sidney Crist for being too emotionally sensitive to coach men's basketball and getting a T the other night.
Yep. Should be coaching girls.
He is very, very emotional. Okay. 2 on the naughty list, Coach Hugs.
Boo.
Well, we still love him anyway. Oh, no. And on the naughty list, Damon Green for being what he does every year.
Yeah, Draymond.
Oh, no. Okay, still on the naughty list, my sister-in-law, Judy Kringle, for creating higher A1Cs with her Christmas baked goods. Oh, no.
She like that one.
Okay, and one other member of the Central Avenue Crist, Snoop Dogg, for eating all of Coach Crist leftovers off the stove. Oh, no.
Yeah, he's definitely on the naughty list.
On the naughty list, Mr. Gorby's penmanship. Oh, no.
I didn't realize it was
And
bad.
finally, on the naughty list, Coach Crist leaving snuff pouches on Miss Kringle's table. Oh, no.
One little slip up. I'll never hear the end of it. It's just like Richard Pryor once said. Yeah, Richard Pryor once said something about that. But anyway, yeah. All right, go ahead. Got your nice list now?
Yes, Misty Reigns was not happy with the coach. Okay, Coach, so let me get on to the nice list. We'll call this the nice ones. Okay, I'm going to have to dig a little deeper, Coach, find some nice ones. All right. Nice ones list to Mr. Gorby for protecting the endangered North Pole yellow-tailed muskrat with his beard. Way to go!
That's right. Hats off to Gorb on that one. Yep, taking care of the muskrat.
Yes, sir, Coach. More nice ones. The Midland Trail Band of 8687 percussion section. Way to bang out that fight song, Little Miss Cymbal Girl. Way to go.
That's twice you got her tonight.
There's still more time, Coach. Okay. Couple of them I just had to dig deep for. Dyson goes out to Sheetz gas stations for 1 free cup of coffee per week during the month of December.
Right. All you got to do is use your card. Get a free cup of coffee a week. Yep, there you go.
Way to go. Another nice one. Menards for giving everyone a 12% rebate on all items purchased by Christmas.
There you go.
Santa saved big money. He saved big money because he shot Menards.
That's right. Because he shot Menards. And Gorb, it's usually 11%, but during the holidays they made it 12%.
That's big time.
Yeah, you get cash back everything you buy, and Santa buys a lot of crap, so he's getting some big money back. All right,
yes,
Santa,
sir.
go ahead.
The 12% during the 12 days of Christmas. Pretty clever.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach. One last nice one to my elf, Mr. Bob. Well, he really should be on the naughty list. Now,
I hope he's not watching. I hope he's not watching.
Get their Christmas toy.
Could you read Bob's naughty list reason again? I was talking over top of you.
It didn't matter, Coach. It was actually well, I can't even talk.
Okay. I hope he's not watching.
No chance of that, Coach.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it was something he said about the dance squad while sitting beside his priest.
The only time Bob watches was he's on or his brother's on. So other than that, he don't watch.
Yes, it is.
Coach, that's a pretty
and
good
one
list.
special license shout out, Neil Brown, Trust the Climb.
There we go. We're all about that. We trust climb here at McGuffin's Mystery Hole, don't we, Gorb? We trust that climb. Don't we, Gorb?
Yep.
And Gorb a little hesitant there. I don't know if he trusts the climb or not. I trust it.
I think Gorby must be kin to Andy Crist.
I think so too, Andy Kringle. Yeah, I think so too, because he don't trust the climb. You can tell that.
Dr. Crist is not a happy man.
He is not. That's why he's been exiled.
For somebody that vacations 6 months out of the 12 months.
Yeah, me and Gorb.
How are you that upset?
Yeah, me and Gorb been talking about him. With all these vacations, he ought to be donating to the Country Roads Trust a little bit. He goes to Spain. He goes to Hawaii, and then all he does is bitch about Neil Brown.
He has no trust, Coach. That's the problem.
He doesn't. He needs to get with the program. He ain't getting back on the show until he straightens up a little bit.
He needs to get some new shoes.
Yes, he does. He needs to get them new shoes straightened out. That's right. And like I said, he's not getting back on the show until he gets his act together. So
he has to be
all in.
He has to pour Duke's mayo over.
That's right. You got to get some Duke's mayo in his mustache and his 70s porn stash, and he's got to donate some money to the Country Roads Trust, and he's got to quit being negative about Neil Brown or he ain't coming back. I don't know why we're telling you this, Santa.
Well, Coach, it's been real and it's been nice, but it has been real nice, and I'm tired of sitting here behind these reindeer rear ends having to smell what I smell. So,
all right, well, we're gonna let you go.
They'll kill you.
We appreciate you coming on with us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you Sunday night. And we hope you, me and Gorb and Darren are on the nice list, and we get some goodies. And we hope that you'll be safe out there with the reindeer whipping around all over the world, and taking care of all the kitties. So we appreciate you taking some time out for us in the meantime.
Sir. And I hate to disappoint, but no way in hell you get anything for Christmas.
All right, Crist Kringle, good talking to you, buddy.
Okay, Coach, on Dancer, on Pray, on Piley. Oh, my God. Okay, Coach, we got to go.
All right, Chris.
Too much beer,
All right, Gorb. Crist Kringle, man.
Thank goodness that's over.
In the words of my friend, Coach Jared Calhoun, thank God that shit's over with. That's what he always says.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to do it with Crist Kringle, and we appreciate him calling in here before Christmas, and we look forward to seeing him Sunday night, Christmas Eve. Gorb, anything before we wrap up the good happy hour tonight?
Well, talking about, I'm going to go to Charlotte there Wednesday. So you want me to bring back a game report? Or
You can definitely bring back a game report. I actually went to...
Who'd they play?
I can't remember. Let me think a minute. I went to the CarQuest Bowl.
Against South Carolina.
I'm thinking Virginia.
That was the Continental Tire Bowl.
Okay, I went to that one.
Okay.
What a disaster.
Yeah.
I swore I'd never go back.
Yeah.
But if you come up with a ticket, I'd probably go with you. So, But anyway, yeah, we need a report, man. We need a report back.
Like a food report.
Oh, food report, atmosphere report.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Not what's going on in the field. Just
we don't care about the game. We just want to see what's going on around the game. And that'd be cool. Yeah, get us a report back. In fact, that's the 27th, right? And we'll be back on the air. I guess the 25th, 6th, 7th, 8th. We'll be on there 28th.
Yeah.
So it'll be fresh. You'll have a fresh report. Oh, awesome. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Give us a good report from the game. That'd be great. All right. That's going to do it for this foolishness for tonight. We appreciate you hanging in there with us, taking in all this nonsense, and we hope you enjoyed it. We had a good time. Whether they had a good time or not, we enjoyed it.
Right.
And we look forward to coming to you again next week here on the Courtside with Coach Chris show, right here on the New River Network. We appreciate all of you tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a like there on Facebook, comment, whatever you want to do. Just get that subscription in on YouTube. That helps us a lot when you do that. So please, please subscribe on our YouTube channel. So we appreciate you again tuning in to New River Network. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Princeton Oak Hill game. The game starts at 7:00. We'll be on there probably about 10 minutes prior to that.
Well, it depends on if that JV coach if he calls timeouts or something like that. Like,
well, don't go ahead and beat him by about 40, so he ain't got any reason to call timeouts. All right, that's going to do it for tonight. We appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next week. Happy holidays to everybody out there. We will see you after Christmas on the 29th. So take care, everybody, and good night.